Hey guys, welcome back to the Interceptor, and it has been a very long time since I've done this, but we are actually making our first war video in what I believe is 7 seasons. I don't know if 35 or 36 was my last. But yeah, I retired in like late August, early September because I had school, and this is the first new season since school has been over. So here we are. We're back. And let's start this out. So originally, I was assigned a Nimrod war with Valk. So I had 3 Valk fights, 4 Nimrod fights, and I actually got switched to 2 different paths, and I'm using a Kingpin team. So I was able to get all my fights done at once. I will have to use 2 of those little energy boost things. Those are brand new to me. But I'm entering this war with a round in somewhere between 70 and 80 deathless streak. So I'm hoping I can get through at least a few wars without dying. But you'll see what happens this war. But yeah, it's so weird to be making these videos again. But yeah, I joined Matrix. And, this is War 2. Of course, I missed War 1. The reason I missed War 1 was because of Battlegrounds. The rank rewards from the Alliance events didn't come out until the morning of War 2, the morning of the matchmaking for War 2. So that is why I missed War 1. In War 1, we faced HCAV, and we lost by, I think it was 2 deaths. But here we are up against TCN, and at this point, they were like 150 rated higher than us, or maybe even more than that, because I think we were like plus 50 minus 10 or something like that. The difference was ridiculous. But yeah, we have the full Kingpin team. This is, by the way, I think the first time I've used Kingpin in war. But this has been brand new Path 7. I'm sure it's not brand new to people that have been playing the whole time, but to me it's brand new. The Path 2 is also brand new, and I feel like there's one more. Path 2, Section 1 and 2 are brand new to me, and there's a couple others, of course. Path 7, Section 2, all the nodes were changed on both nodes. So on this one, when you knock the defender down, they get a armor break on them, and obviously that is why Dragon Man is here, because if you armor break him, he degenerates you the same way that Bleeding Elsa degenerates you, or Cable. If you don't have class advantage. But I knew that I wouldn't throw a special unless it killed, and I didn't overpower there, so I just threw the special 3. Knew it would kill. Even if it didn't, if it left him at like 2%, I'd take like 2 little pieces of degen, and he's stunned, so I just go in and hit him. Who cares? This is a rank 4, fully boosted. So here, this is probably the nicest fight of the war. This is Nick Fury, a rank 5 Nick Fury, by the way. And because I'm using Kingpin and the Fury node, he will always have triple attack rating the whole fight. So we are just going to slow play this, just spam special 1s and do the best we can. We're doing a lot of damage here. We had to bait out a heavy. Lucky he did not throw an SP1 and go unblockable. But our degen is actually lowering defensive ability accuracy, so we are stopping the Unstoppable from getting around because he's not getting his tactical charges. And this one also has the node where special attacks thrown by the defender cost half as much power. And here I'm going to take advantage of the fact that his AI usually won't throw the SP1 when he's over 16 charges. If you ask some people, they will say it's guaranteed. It's not. It's happened to me multiple times. Not in war, and unfortunately not while I've been recording, but there have been times where he was at like 18 or 19, and I went for a naked intercept and got slapped in the face by an SP1 that put him over 20 charges. People will say it doesn't happen, and it has to happen to you personally for you to know that it can happen. But it is so unlikely, and the fact that I think it's only happened to me 2 or 3 times ever makes me confident enough to do it in war. But yeah, there you go. So that was the mini on the right side. So now we have this Ebony Maw on Bubble Shield, Power Focus 2, and I was kind of worried about this fight, but then I realized that the Mr. Sinister synergy actually takes care of the issue of Mystic Dispersion, because both the removal of my Dex buff and the unstoppable from my heavy attack for resetting his timer, the power gain will be stopped by Mystic Dispersion. So that's really, really nice. We landed a parry there, and this also has Bubble Shield, which means that we're just going to have to keep track of that, but it actually doesn't end up getting high enough for it to matter. Now, of course, you are going to take some unavoidable damage, because at least once in the fight, he is going to throw the SP1 and degen you from the Nullify. The rest of the times, it will still Nullify, it just won't degen you. So now I won't get degen the rest of the fight unless I miss or something like that. But we're just going to use our light attacks to line up the heavy attacks and basically just spam special 1. Here I could have gone for... no, there, I was a bit far away. I think there's one point where I could have gone for a heavy in the corner and I chose not to, just because I didn't want to get wrecked by stand your ground. But yeah, our stand-up intercepts are on point. There we go. There's another dash back, or another nice intercept. And we're going to end this fight with almost full health, but the bad fight is coming up next. So there we went for stand-up intercept. He didn't like it. And then there, he was just being an idiot. And also a combination of me not playing great. But another SP1 kills. And now we are on to the fight that I was honestly not that worried about. The Ebony Maw was probably the fight. Ebony Maw was probably one of the 2 fights I was more scared of. This one, there's a few things. So first off, I know there's Conflictor on this node, and I was given a special note by my officer saying, don't throw any specials. And I knew that. I knew going into this fight, I knew the strategy, I knew don't throw specials, but what do you think this little idiot's gonna do? Throw SP1 the first chance he has. Yep. And send this guy right to a special 2. So already not starting off the fight great. And of course this guy is passively gaining a little bit of power. So he's going to throw it into my block. And that burst damage there did 4,000. So I was really not worried about it for the rest of the fight. I was like, okay, it's only going to do 4,000. I can block special once. But there I went for a stand-up normal intercept. I landed the intercept, but I forgot that his miss timer was not on cooldown. So right here, he's going to get to another special 2. He's going to throw it, and the burst damage was 30k. So I do not know his special 2 well enough to dex it. Even when I practiced, I wasn't getting it super consistently. So I thought I could block it because the degen damage was only, or the direct damage was only 4k. And then all of a sudden it was 30k and I'm dead. Now, even if I had not taken that combo earlier in the fight by messing up my medium, because I intercepted him, first hit's a medium, which activates his miss. I know the way he works. I just, yeah. That was a bit of a first war back in 8 months kind of death. If that's a thing, that's what that was. But yeah, this fight had like 15 seconds left if I had just evaded that special 2. But we drop a death. Now, in this war, it's not going to matter because we're going to lose by over 15 deaths. But it's still not good. It's still not good. And these next fights aren't great either. The middle one, the one right after this is fine. This one is bad. This is Kingpin versus Thing, a great matchup. Kingpin is, I don't know, top 5 Thing counter, but he's like a solid Thing counter. And basically, I am going to look in this fight as if I am a complete rookie who has never played the game before and is fighting Thing for the first time. So, that's fun. This fight also took way longer than it needed to take. Now, part of that is because one time I go to a special 2 by accident, and every single hit while my attack is increased is going to trigger protection. But, yeah, here we're going to go a few hits. And the issue with Kingpin versus Thing, one of the issues with Kingpin versus Thing, is in addition to the attack rating increase that leads to protection activating all the time. One of the things is that the reduced ability accuracy can mess you up. And the way that it can mess you up is it can screw up the charges. So here, he's at 13 charges, but like if I'd thrown that special one much earlier, I wouldn't have known First Strike to get him to 15. So at this point, I have to hit into his block. So it's only going to take 2 combos of hitting into his block, but there, I thought he was going back to hold block. He was not, so I just got to evade an SP1 in the corner, which I'm pretty good at. And at this point, I'm at a special 3. There, I should have just thrown it because it would have gotten me a bunch of my health back from adrenaline. But you know what? That's just the kind of fight this was. Here, I should have thrown it again. Don't know what I'm doing. I guess I just thought if I can't throw specials, no reduced ability accuracy, not going to mess me up at all. But in hindsight, I absolutely should have just thrown it. So this fight is going on for 2 minutes. And if this was a normal defender, I didn't have class advantage, and it was a champion that hit decently hard, I would be dead. But I'm not. Now he's down to 7%. I am running Max Assassin because I placed it. I put it on for defense, and I just didn't take it off for attack. The only changes I really made was I took off MD, put some points into willpower. That's pretty much it. So now we have another rank 5 Quicksilver. I really wasn't paying attention in this war to who was a rank 5 and who was not. In fact, I didn't even notice that Nick Fury was a rank 5 until I started recording this video. Like, even when I was watching the fight back, I didn't notice. But now I'm noticing, of course, because that's all I have to look at. So I have 2 fights left here, and I was between an SP1 boost and an Invuln boost. I make the wrong call. I go for an SP1. I should have gone for an Invuln because I forgot that in the next fight, power gain is going to be a real problem when using Kingpin. I don't think Kingpin was the right champ to go with for this the fight after this, but it definitely should not have gone as bad as I made it go by not using Invuln. But yeah, this is Quicksilver on the new node, Path 7. And the strategy here is pretty simple. He is generally one that wants to throw specials all the time, so I usually don't have to spend very long baiting out his specials, much like Hood. But here I'm just trying to bait out his special. He's not throwing it. There we go. I am going to take a special 1 to the face later in the fight, but for now, the fight's going okay still. Again, this was not the best fight, but it is not one that went horrible. Oh, I guess I take 2 SP1s to the face in this fight. But yeah, we just want to keep going for the special 1. I'm going to tick him down. And one thing I have to remember is that I can't intercept him like that or parry and hit him. And the reason I can't is because I don't want him shrugging off, because that activates the global, gives him a prowess, and in turn power gain. So here I had to parry right before the whiplash expired, or I would have taken a little burst of damage. We got it just in time. Luckily I do know how Quicksilver works, but yeah, just not the greatest fight in the world. For a pretty good matchup, this fight probably took about 30 seconds longer than it needed to. This could have been over in a minute. But he's almost down now, and we eat another special 1 just for good measure. Here I'm just trying to bait out a heavy, but he's being an asshole, and he's doing full 5-hit combos into my block. Or I guess for him, they're not 5-hit combos, they're like fucking 25-hit combos. But yeah, another SP1 into my block. Tried to counter, and that happened, of course. And then, just so you know, if you're watching this fight and screaming at me, why aren't you countering this heavy with a heavy? You can't. He reacts too quickly. I did duels. I know that. It lands literally like a 1/5 of the time. It just doesn't work in this matchup. He reacts too heavy, or too fast from his own heavy. He recovers too fast. But yeah, now we have a Arcus, a rank 4 Arcus. Probably the first one I've ever seen. I don't even think I've seen one in Battlegrounds. And honestly, I should have just gone with Hood. You can see in this moment I'm reading the nodes, and I'm really considering going with Hood. And I make the wrong call. I should have gone with Hood 1,000,000,000%. This fight would have been faster. It would have been safer. It would have been easier. But no, I go with Kingpin because that's what I was assigned. This has one eye open, which means no parrying ever. Although sometimes I'm going to use it to remove tenacity so that my power thing from my... or my power lock from my synergy will stick. But... yeah, we start off the fight taking a full combo and an SP1, and I'm pretty sure here's where Arcus almost gets to a special 3. You can't see it, but he gets to like 2.9 bars before he finally decides to throw it. You can see right there the power he was at. And we are trying... I went for a heavy there. I thought I could counter heavy. This duel I did not try, but here I should have countered heavy there. That was a mistake. But he's about half down, and we are winning the health race right now as long as he keeps throwing special ones. And the reason I said I should have gone for an invuln was because he went to special 3. Now, of course, that invuln would have been removed by the hits I took earlier in the fight and right there. So it actually wouldn't have mattered, but it should have mattered. Because if I was playing it right and well, it should have mattered. So here, we're just trying to bait special 1. When I saw this, the first thing that came to mind was, oh, that's a very obvious Claire fight. But I got sent with Kingpin. I probably should have gone in with Hood instead. But yeah, just a lot of SP1s and SP2s being baited, and he finally goes down there. I was over half health, but I still wouldn't call that a nice fight. But I'm going to pause just because this is the end of the video. And we lost this war. And I lost my Deathless streak, which means that we are now 0-2 on the season. I have 1 death in 1 war. And what is my Deathless streak? 1, 2, 3 fights. Thing. Quicksilver. Vision. That's it. That's my whole... Yeah. So we have 3. And as far as PSR, we're at 6 out of 7 solos because we had 7 fights before, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we had 7 fights. So yeah, not a best first war back, but you know, we're back. We're making war videos. I plan to keep this up for the rest of the season, and I will see you all later.